Greetings, tube dwellers, and welcome back to Windstad Manor. This is the Hjaalmarch Parcel, very near Morthal, and this is the house that I bought with my archer. I'm going to, hopefully, pretty much finish decking this house out in this episode. Now I'm going to do, I think I've got the materials, basically everything structurally to the house. I could get a steward. That might not end up in this episode, though. I think that'll likely be in a following episode. So before I get into anything detail-oriented or start slapping decorations on walls, let me go over some of the materials I've gathered. Basically what I did is, inside the house, if you haven't seen any Hearthfire stuff, there are little workbenches similar to this one. They're shorter inside the house, but they're all over in different rooms inside the house, and as you go up to them, you'll see recipes for various things, furnishings, decorations, containers, all kinds of different stuff. And they will have, as you can see on the bottom right over here, they will have amounts of stuff that you need to build them. So I've basically went around to each of those in the house, and some of them do have unique options because some rooms have unique decoration options. I've went around to each of those and kind of taken a peek at them to get a feel for what I need. Didn't necessarily write down any numbers, so I'm not sure. I may have to go do some more harvesting as I create this video. But I've gotten at least some of, I think, just about everything I need. Ore-wise, I have corundum and iron ingots, as well as a little bit of steel. I got quite a few iron ingots because iron's used for a lot of things. And I got a decent bit of steel. Steel is used for a few things in the house I've seen. The corundum is used exclusively for locks, so you don't need a whole lot of that, but you do need some corundum. As I said, the iron is used for a lot of things. Fittings, nails. You'll have to turn the iron into various things. Then you'll also just need iron itself for certain things in the house. Of course, I've also picked up a lot of quarried stone and a lot of clay. Now, the cool thing about quarried stone and clay is that there are deposits near your house. I've shown these off in each of my parcel videos, but there are deposits of, and actually I may have lost track of the clay one. Here it is. There are deposits of clay, and the quarried stone one's right over there against the wall next to my smelter, that you can activate, and you'll just sit there and this animation will continue. The deposit never runs out, and you will keep getting clay. So if you want to, you could do this, and then you could like go eat a bowl of cereal or something. You'll come back, you'll have a ton of clay. You won't really have to worry about anything. You won't really have to worry about harvesting more. I think I've got about 100 of each so far. So that's decent numbers for, you know, at least I expect to get through most of my house with that. I might have to harvest some more afterwards. And then I've got, let's see, some goat horns are a common thing. These are used for wall sconces, which are basically lights that you'll need throughout a lot of different areas. Glass as well is another just kind of raw material that's used in some things, as well as straw, which I have some straw of. And then pretty much everything else in here is something kind of special interest. So some rooms have wall mounts that you can hang, like bear pelts, wolf pelts. You can turn into a wall mount. And then there's some things that I don't have, like you can turn large antlers, and I think certain hides. I do have a deer hide in here somewhere. Yeah, you can turn certain hides into wall mounts as well. And then also slaughterfish scales. You can turn those into like a fish wall mount. And then I've got a couple other things, like some plants, some nightshade, some nirnroot. I think I've got a few others, some deathbell, some crimson nirnroot, because I can build gardens and maybe even a greenhouse. I don't think I'm going to do it on this one just because of the additions I think I'm going to choose. But I want to see what plants I can plant and just kind of see the growth process as well. I know there are a few very rare recipes that also require a soul gem. I think it's a greater soul gem, although I grabbed a greater and a grand just to be sure. Horker tusks, that's another one of those wall mount things. And then I think the last, I guess, category of items I have in here are some weapons. I've got some basic weapons, an orcish sword. I've got a couple iron swords, I think. A couple iron shields, just because I'm going to add an armory to this house. And I want to be able to put some stuff in it, just to kind of try everything out. Maybe not deck everything out immediately, but to get everything looking somewhat legit, make it look like I live there, right? Okay, so here are our materials. Let's take a look at the overall of what I want to do to this house. And then I think if I can do the video editing right on this, I want to do like a before and after of each area as I build them. So after I look at the overall, or I should say included in the overall, I'm going to see the additions I'm going to make to the house, and then I'm also going to go look at each individual workbench, but not actually build everything yet, and then I'll give you a before and after of empty rooms turning into fully decorated rooms. I think I can do that all right. It does require some heavy video editing though. This is where I wanted to go, the drawing table. So the drawing table is where you choose your major additions to the home. I've got one selected right now, but you can't see it, so I'm going to switch the east wing. I'm not actually going to end up with a library, but I'm going to put an armory on the east wing. Before you build anything, you can switch this at ease, or you know, at will with ease. On the north wing, I'm going to put an alchemy laboratory. Of course, I can't actually accept this yet because I'm going to do the armory first, and this would deselect the armory. And then on the west wing, I'm going to put an enchanter's tower. Now, the reason I'm going to choose armory, alchemy, and enchanter's tower is because I'm pretty sure I can get a bed in the house even without making a bedroom. And other than that, I just want my trade skills to have a place here. So I want to make sure that this house has an enchanter table and an alchemy table, just because I don't want to have to go to some city nearby to use that. Those are things that I'll actively use that I want to ensure are in the house. Now, other things that would be neat is a greenhouse. It gives you more grow room than an external garden. A trophy room I think would kind of be neat, although I'm not sure it'd be really useful. The storage room would probably be pretty useful because it'd probably have easy ways to sort a lot of your different stuff, although I'm kind of a fan of just slapping things in a barrel to the right of the door or something, you know, and doing things that way. The library might be kind of neat. I don't know about the kitchen and some of those other things. A lot of those don't seem very useful. So there we go. We're going to have an armory, an alchemy, and an enchanter tower. Now, you can see I've already made a few minor additions to the house. I made the entryway, I made the grand hall that comes behind the entryway, and I went ahead and made the smelter over here as well, which comes with all the blacksmith stuff. I've been using that a little bit, not a whole lot. So let's take a look at some of the interior rooms. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to decorate the armory, alchemy, and enchanter's tower yet, because I don't have them up, so we're only going to get a feel for the most simple, repetitive house fillings. So under containers, I guess this only has a dresser. That has real general requirements as far as materials go. Nothing special. A lot of these are similar. They require some leather, some iron, some nails, some hinges, maybe some straw. Wall sconces. That one's kind of weird. Goat horns. I had to go get some of those from a general trader. Quarried stone. It looks like the miscellaneous in this one doesn't have anything real weird, but the miscellaneous is normally where weird stuff comes in, like wall mounts and such. So I'm basically just going to jump to the miscellaneous because it's the only one that's going to have different stuff. It looks like I could put an alchemy lab in my grand hall. I may or may not end up doing that, and it requires some quicksilver. I may or may not have some of that. Some refined moonstone, some glass, a grand soul gem. The arcane enchanter takes quite a few interesting bits. Chandeliers doesn't really. Here we go. A horker head requires horker tusk. Goat head requires goat hide. Mud crab, slaughterfish scales. Mud crab chitin, I should say. Large antlers. I know I don't have any large antlers. That's unfortunate. But there's a little bit of an example of some of the weird stuff that I'm going to end up getting on the walls in here. I do already have a basement too, a wolf head. There we have a couple different wolf pelts I'll be able to use. Saber cat, that required a tooth and a pelt. I think I do actually have a saber cat tooth in the house, so that's nice. We're going to look at this one, and then there's one downstairs. What else do we have? So again, slaughterfish, blacksmith anvil I can fit in here. That's kind of nice. It looks like I might end up with some redundant examples of trade stations, like the enchanter's table and the alchemist table, as well as like the smithing stuff. A practice dummy requires some straw. Oh, bear head, nice for bear pelts. Some more. Ooh, a shrine base. That's kind of interesting. It doesn't take anything real special. Kind of interesting that I'm going to be able to make that though. Iron fittings and goat horns. So there you go. There's a feel for the types of materials that are going to be required, and an idea of the numbers. Now I'm going to go back upstairs real fast and back outside, and I'm going to take stock of some of my counts of everything. I'm actually just going to write it down on a sheet of paper here. That way when I'm done with everything, I can do a little bit of math and see roughly how much, how many different materials it takes of everything to put all the different parts of the house together and to furnish it all. Now, this of course is going to exclude this very beginning part, and you guys saw in my entryway I already had like a barrel created and something else. But for the most part, these first two structures, you have all the materials you need to create those right here before you even start. Oh yeah, let me note that I've also got 224 logs. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll be right back to check out parts of the house as they develop. Our first addition shall be a garden. The garden requires only one sawn log, and here's the plot of blank land that will house it. Here the garden itself is. Well, would you look at that? You can activate fertile soil. It looks like I don't have any plants on me right now, but that's okay. We'll toy with this as well as maybe a few other things by the end of the video. Next, and I'm going to go ahead and do two at once, is going to be an animal pen, which takes a sawn log, and a stable, which takes 3 sawn logs and 5 nails. Both of these are going to be over here to the left of my house. I believe the stable's right around that area, and the animal pen's right here, if I remember correctly. So there's the blankness. And there is the fill-in. Yeah, nice. Oh, and there's a tanning rack next to the animal pen. And a stable. Now, I happen to know that a stable's required to hire a carriage driver, which I probably won't do in this video. Again, that's all going to come with the steward. And the animal pen, I believe you can use the steward to buy a cow and chickens. And if I have read correctly, and if the wiki's correct, the cow gives you continuous milk in your kitchen, and the chickens continuously lay eggs. Huh, interesting, interesting. Next will be a kind of odd one, the fish hatchery. Well, whatever could a fish hatchery be for? You guessed it, it's gonna be for hatching fish. Now, I'm behind my house right now. I believe this is the plot of shore that the fish hatchery is gonna go on. Ooh, there's some horkers over there. So here I'm gonna try to cut it as perfectly to completion as I can. Yeah, well, would you look at that? It's got a little net around it. It's got a dock that goes out to the middle. It looks like it removes some ice there. Interesting, again, out behind my house. The fish hatchery, I haven't used this yet, but I believe that there's a way that you can get this to spawn fish. Now I've got some fish, but they're not on me right now, so that's another thing along with the garden that we'll have to try to mess with. I wonder, are there any fish by default? I don't see any fish down here by default, so it looks like it relies on me putting maybe some kind of fish in there, maybe some kind of eggs. I think the only eggs you can find are slaughterfish eggs. That would be a scary prospect. I wonder how I'd get other fish in there. Let's move to the interior, shall we? I've just stepped into the entryway. This is the very first room of the house. Those doors right there mark the point where you go into the great hall from the entryway. Now you can see that I've already got a couple things in here. I've got a barrel and an end table and another barrel, and then this chest comes in here. I just got those because I needed some space to put some stuff, to sort some things. So here's the room, mostly barren, not quite totally. And here's the room, totally furnished. Now this looks really weird, because this is eventually going to be the first room in a very large house with a lot of other rooms, and it's got a bed right off. Like you could make just this first room your house, and you could have a lot of the amenities of having a house. Some container space, a chest, a bed, a cooking pot even. I guess you don't have any kind of alchemy table or anything, the nice stuff like that. Monomyth, that's kind of weird. I don't think I've ever seen that book. But there you have the entryway, fully decked. Everything I can possibly buy for it. Oh, nice. They gave me a flute. There's even a satchel. I like to see sometimes, you know, when you build a table out of some sawn logs and nails, the random stuff that just magically finds its way there. Empty display case that I might be able to use. Okay, let's move into the Great Hall. Now, this section overall is quite a bit larger and has a few different crafting tables. So, there's one upstairs, there's one in the back room there. I think this room only has to do with everything on the first floor here, on my side of this wall that I'm looking at right over there. So let's see, this is the normal, and fully decked. Interesting that it looks like there's still a lot of open wall space here. I guess these are going to turn into a doorway into the side chambers, so maybe that makes some sense. Yeah, there's some open wall space up top here too. Looks like this did decorate the bottom and top part of this section, meaning that this top section is going to be separate and that bottom section back there through that little opening is going to be separate. What an immaculate elk head. I think that's an elk, right? Looks elkish. I kind of like, let's see, actually I was going to say I like that both of the crafting things are close to the same place, but I actually don't think they are. No, the alchemy table's over there. Okay. Both have a container of some sort near them, which is good. That makes storing all of your trade-oriented goodies very easy. What did that say? The Cabin in the Woods? Nice. I actually just watched that again recently. Crazy movie. Definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Okay, let's move on to the next section. The area in the back. In the back, on the first floor. The area with the cellar door. Normal. Super. Oh, nice. We even have a safe in here. Don't be fooled by all the stuff in it. I actually put that stuff in there because I had to go run and grab a few more ingredients as I finished this area out. Let's go into the, let's go upstairs next and then to the basement. Actually, you know what? I'm right here. Let's go to the basement first. Normal. Super! Okay, so I admit I don't have quite everything in this room. I'm missing still a couple bits of the smithing piece. I don't have enough iron fittings. I gotta go make some more. Actually, I can probably make some more down here. And then I'm missing shrines. So this is like a shrine shelf. And I think you can put up to 4 shrines on it. Maybe you can put all of them on it. I don't know. You need a necklace for each shrine, though, and I don't have all the necklaces. So that's going to take me just a second to go get. Looks like I've got a workbench, but I don't... Oh, I do have an anvil. Okay, the blacksmith's anvil will let me finish out the iron fittings that I need, at least. Hold on. Maybe I can give you a better example of super here real fast. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so here are all the shrines. I don't have any amulets on me right now. I've got, I think everything else. I've got some silver ingots in the other room. Flawless sapphire needed for that one. Some of these have some interesting, slightly non-standard requirements. I also don't have enough large antlers to finish out the mounted elk antlers. I have everything else. Okay, I guess there's a couple safes still missing too. Safes require 5 locks each. That's absolutely nuts. It's a little bit brighter in here now. Yeah, this is slightly more total, more complete. It looks like I can't complete it right at the moment, but I'm getting ready to here in just a little bit as I go out to get some more of stuff that I'll need for everything. It looks like you've got a full-on. There's a grindstone over there. There's a workbench here. The forge, the anvil, and the smelter in your basement. Now, I've also got that out back. I might change my idea about making the armory because that's basically everything right here. You have an armory in your basement, basically. I don't know. Having a bunch of different mannequins might be cool. There's only 1 mannequin here. I think there's a mannequin upstairs too. Having like 5 mannequins all in a row would be kind of neat though, because I could deck them each out in a piece of or a set of full armor. Dwarven, Elven, you know, just do 1 set on each. That'd be pretty cool. Let's go upstairs and while I'm off camera, let me see if I get in the rest of the ingredients I need to totally finish this out, because I want to totally finish all of it out. Okay, here we go. I'm kind of close to the final product now. And actually looking at, I've built 3 shrines. I haven't quite gotten all the materials to build all of them. Eventually I think I will though, because looking at these shrines, they're really close together, and there's enough room up here that it makes me think that you could probably get all of the shrines, which is awesome. That's absolutely fantastic. Having all the shrines in a nice neat little row there. And then let's see, where did that elk head end up going? Holy safe, Batman. Oh my god, look, there's safes over there. There are safes over here. Each one of these is an individual safe. Wow. Wow, I have a lot of storage down here. Yeah, and sure enough, those large antlers ended up going right there without an elk head even, just the antlers. God, those are such a pain in the butt to get. Sometimes you can get them off some alchemists, but really the best way I've found of getting them is going to locations like Hunter's Rest, I think it's called. Hunter's Rest. Little areas like this, little hunter camps, and then run around in the woods around here and trying to shoot the larger kind of gray or white elks. They have a higher chance to drop the large antlers than do like the deer, the small antler deers. Normally, actually, I haven't seen any of them drop large antlers. So upstairs we go. This last little section is a U-shaped room. Sorry for the begrudging pace, the slowness. Oh, I'm just carrying so much. Okay, so here you go. 2 little rooms like this in a U-shape. And here we have finished product. So it looks like these 2 rooms are both bedrooms. This one seems like a kid's bedroom, as there are 2 smaller beds. And then it goes through into what looks like the master bedroom. So that gives me a total of 4 beds in my house without the bedrooms add-on. So I don't know what that add-on's for. How many beds do you really need in a house? I think I've got enough beds to field kids and everything. Field them like they're soldiers. Jesus, I'm ridiculous. There's one thing I haven't gotten here. It is the saber cat. Snowy saber cat head. I don't have a snowy saber cat pelt right at the moment. And I've already used a few of those, so... Some fairly rare ingredients, they're starting to dip into the bottom of my stores. I'll have a couple things that I need to wrap up that I might not be able to complete in this video. So let's go see about one of the main outside bits. Now that every room that I have is furnished to completion, save the shrines and save this one mount. Let's go add on, let's say, an armory. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so here's our plot of land for the armory. It's going to come off this right side of the house over here. Or I guess if you were facing the direction of the house, it'd be the left. And let's... And there it is! Walls erected. It looks like there is a way up out the back. This looks rather empty. I'm hoping I can furnish this. The door, as you might expect, just comes right into the side. At least the door up top. Now let's go... Yes. Into the greater part of the armory, and it's totally empty. Okay, so you build just like all the other rooms, the walls first, and then everything else from here. All my stuff's outside. I just want to see what I can put in here. Up to 5 armored mannequins with a cupboard. Quite a few weapon plaques, archery targets, bench. A round table? A round table for the knights? Huh. Lamp stands. Oh, great. More saber cat pelts are going to be needed. A tanning rack. Okay, interesting, interesting. It looks like it is going to be pretty much what I expected. A lot of armored mannequins that I can set suits of armor up across. Okay, well, unfortunately, I've been working at this for quite a while now. And I'm going to have to do quite a bit more work before I can finish this area out and the area up there. So I'm going to have to cut it off at having started the armory. Hopefully, I'm going to do another episode of this, and let's see, I guess probably another 2 episodes. The next episode's likely going to be the other 2 additions to my house, the other major 2 wings of the house, and then it's going to be hopefully decking out all 3 of them. And hopefully I can get every shrine and the wall mounts as well. I would really like to get absolutely all of it done. And then I'll have hopefully a 3rd and final episode that will be the steward collecting and I don't know, hiring a carriage driver and all that other good stuff. Maybe I'll try to get some kids and a wife involved at that point too. Not real sure. Maybe that'll be a 4th episode. Anyway, whichever way it goes. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more. There'll be more coming up. Later.